You can easily prevent your WordPress website from getting hacked. Just follow this tutorial step by step and I'll show you exactly how to set up malware scanning, how to set up two-factor authentication, how to make sure that no one can brute force your website, how to disable the cursed XML RPC module, and of course, how to hide your WP admin login page. To get the free plugin, we go to wp.discount/solid. This link is also in the description of this video and in the comments. And then we are at the website of Solid WP. I've been trusting my security of my websites and those of all my clients with this company for many, many years. And the truth is, I have never been hacked before since I've been using Solid Security. So we scroll all the way up and over here we press on download for free. Then type in your email and press on download for free. Then the download has been completed. Then log into your WordPress website. On your website, we go over here to Plugins, Add New Plugin. Then press Upload Plugin and click on Browse. And then select the file called Better WP Security. You might be saying, huh? Didn't we just download Solid Security? Yes, it's the same program, but Solid Security has been developing since 2012 when it still was called Better WP Security. Just press on Open and press on this button Install Now. And then we press Activate Plugin. Well done. Then we press on Settings over here. Then we can choose to help improve Solid Security. You can press Skip or you can press Allow and Continue, completely up to you. I'm gonna Allow and Continue. Welcome to the Solid Security first time setup. The first thing we need to do is select what kind of website we have. So select the type that is closest to your current website. In our case, we have a brochure, a simple website to promote our business. Then we're going to enable Security Check Pro because we want that, and we press Next. If you're setting this up for a client, you can click on Client Website. In our case, I'm going to set it up for my own website. Yes, we want to enforce a password policy so that people can only use really strong passwords and not welcome1234. Press on Next and then we can authorize your own IP address. Click on this button. This will make sure that this IP address will never be locked out of this website. Even when you fill in 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a wrong password, you will be blocked by Solid Security. This IP address will be whitelisted and never be blocked. If you don't have a static IP address, that means it changes every single day or every week, no problem at all. Just make sure to fill in the right password and you will never be locked out. Then we go to IP detection and then we can change the way Solid Security detects our visitor's IP address. It has to do that to see if those visitors are legit or actually from some shady IP address that has already been flagged as malicious. Solid Security recommends the security check scan, but if that one is not available on your hosting company, don't worry, you can just select manual. And then it will use a proxy header like x-forwarded4. It's perfect, just keep it like this. But the best detection is always security check scan recommended. And after this, we press on Next. Then we have the login security. Yes, we want to enable two-factor authentication. It's really powerful to use a mobile app to also add in a code to log in, because you're the only one that has that code and no hackers from anywhere else can log into your WordPress website. Really powerful. So enable this one. Then we go to the firewall. Yes, we want to use the rules engine, the local brute force and the network brute force. Keep this all on. The only thing we need to do in here is click over here and enter in your email address to make use of the Solid Security API so that your website can quickly call to Solid Security servers to see, hey, is this IP address malicious or is it a legitimate visitor? Very useful to do that. And if you also want to receive the weekly update, just click over here and press on Next. Here we can select the different kind of user groups. If you don't know what user groups are, then just click on Default User Groups. If you have created your own users, then use the Custom User Group option. Let's go to the default user group. Here we can change all the settings of the user groups. As you can see, all the options are the same per user group, so I'm just going to walk you through one group, the administrators. As you know, the administrators are the most important on your website because that's you and you log in and you can have the most rights. Now, how do we need to set this up? Of course, the admins could manage Solid Security like this. They could enable the dashboard creation. They need strong password. We have to refuse compromised passwords. And they are not allowed to skip two-factor onboarding because any admin on the website can completely destroy your site if they have access. So we need two-factor onboarding. And then there's an interesting setting, application passwords. If you are not a developer, you're not going to build plugins for themes or APIs or all these things, then just disable the application passwords because you don't need it. If you don't have other people signing into your WordPress website, you can now click on Next. If you do have other people with different kind of roles on your website, for example, the editors, you might want to set this up a little bit differently because an editor don't want to give them access to your Solid Security or enable a dashboard creation because they don't need this. You also want to force them to use two-factor authentication because an editor still has a lot of rights. And maybe you don't want to let them use application passwords. Then scroll up. The same is for the authors and the contributors, but then we also have subscribers and maybe customers if you have an e-commerce website. Well, subscribers and customers, you definitely don't want to manage Solid Security, enable dashboard, no. Strong password, yes, and refuse compromised passwords. But then an important question is, do you want to force them to use two-factor authentication? If you enable this option, they can skip the two-factor authentication onboarding, so they won't be forced to use an app or an email address to log into your website. This might be a good idea if you only have subscribers and you don't have an e-commerce website because, well, subscribers normally won't get to do a lot of things on your website. But this is something that you have to decide for yourself. Do you want your subscribers or your customers to go through the hassle of two-factor authentication every single time they visit your website? This is something you have to decide. Well, I definitely don't want to use application passwords. Alright, if you're done, press Next. Now, this last step is pretty important as it will make sure that Solid Security can send out emails to you. And that's kind of important if you get hacked or those are malicious files being found. All these things are going through email. So the email address I'm using on this domain might be matt@wpressdoc.com or, well, whatever your email is from this domain. Don't use your own email address or else no notification will be sent out. Then the next step is who will receive all those important notifications from Solid Security. Do you want to send it to all the administrator users on your website or maybe just you and just disable this one? After this, we press on Complete Setup. Just wait a while Solid Security is setting things up. Well done, step 1 has been completed. Now we're going to set up the security for our entire website. Go over here to Settings. And then we are at the global settings. I'm going to walk you through all these settings over here so your website is really thoroughly secured. After that, we're going to set up the two-factor authentication, and I'm also going to show you what to do when you've locked yourself out and you cannot access your website anymore. We are here at the settings. After this, I'm going to walk you through all the other things so you really know how Solid Security works. The first box is allow Solid Security to write those important files automatically. If you're a developer and you're changing things a lot around on these two files, then disable this box. For normal users, please keep this on. Then the next thing is the minutes that people will be locked out from your website. The default setting is that a user will be locked out from your site for 15 minutes. That's great, just keep it in there. Then we have the days to remember lockouts. How many days should it remember? 7, I would put this on 10. The longer, the better. Then we have the ban repeat offender. Solid Security will add someone to the ban users list after some visitor has been locked out 3 times, for 3 times 15 minutes. Within 10 days, it will be added to the ban user list and it will not be unblocked anymore unless you are doing it manually. I'm going to show you that in the end of this video. If we then scroll down, we can choose the logout messages. You can change this, of course, to anything you like. Then scroll down and we can see again the authorized IP addresses. We go to logging. In here we can choose how events logs should be kept. Do you want to only use the database for this, or write it to a file, or maybe both? But remember, big websites, file only, small websites, database only. Both? Nah, I would not advise you to do so. So I'm going with the database only. Here we can change the days to keep your database logs. Keep this on 60 because if you get hacked, I highly doubt it because we're securing your website really thoroughly now, then you can always go back to see where did it go wrong. Then we scroll down. Again, your IP detection should be security check scan or manual, also great. And then we can over here hide the security menu in the admin bar. Then talking about this one, my opinion is just to keep it in there so you won't miss anything important. And the last option is the data sharing, which we allowed in the beginning. Press on save. And then we scroll all the way up and we go over here to features. Click on it. Then we have enabled two-factor authentication. Keep this on, but click over here and then we can choose the methods that are available for users. We can use all methods. I would keep it on that one, all but email, or you can select them manually. For example, you only want to do it via the mobile app or the email or backup authentication codes. You can just select it yourself. I would advise you to use all methods. Then we have the setup flow. You can disable this on the first login. That's kind of user friendly. You can enable this. In our case, just leave it like this. Then we have the onboarding welcome text. If you want to change it, this is the place to do so. You can also add in your brand name, for example, or greetings from the CEO or whatever. Then we go over here to firewall. We want to ban users, of course. Then we click over here to set it up. We want to use the default ban list as developed by hackrepair.com. Then we want to enable the ban list and the threshold should be on 100. That should be good because yes, it will slow your system a little bit down if you get more than 1,000 IP addresses in your htaccess file. That's not very useful. Then scroll down, we go to the firewall rules engine, click over there, max firewall violations per IP address. This is the number set to 10. I would say we put this on 5. So whenever the firewall rules are triggered, after 5 times, whoop, whoop, someone will be banned. Then we can have the minutes to remember the check period. I would upgrade this to 45 minutes. Then we scroll down and we have the local brute force settings. Scroll down. Now this one is very important. If you as an admin are logging into your website with the username admin, that's not good and you need to change it immediately. Why? Automatic bots are crawling the internet to see if they can log in using the username admin. A lot of them automatically. Well, the hackers are sleeping. Yes, they are. So we have to change the admin user. How do you do that? You go over here to users and you go to all users. If you see over here your own name and your username is admin, oh no, you really have to change this. But you cannot go to edit, cannot go into here and change your username. Usernames cannot be changed. What to do next? Well, the only way to fix this is to add in a new user. I'm sorry, you have to add in a new user, click over here and don't use the email address which you are using right now to log in. So you have to use another email address. Then create a username that is something else than admin. Fill it all in, use a different email address than the user you are logged in right now. Make sure to put the role on admin and then you're going to add in the new user. This is very important. Then you log out and you're going to log in with this new admin. You're going to delete the old one with the username admin, delete it, and then you can create a new one with your first email address if you want that, or just keep it like this. But never ever use a username called admin. Very unsafe. If you are sure you don't use the username admin, then you can check this box, automatically lock out someone who's trying to log in with the admin user. Very important and powerful feature. I really like this. Then we are with the login attempts. If someone's trying to log in before you are being blocked 5 times, no, 3 times. make it harder. Max login attempts per user, put this on 5. Minutes to remember bad login, I would say put this on 15 minutes. All right, this all looks good. Then we go to the network brute force, click on it. We can ban our reported IPs so that they are being sent to the API of Solid Security. And then together we create a really big IP list of all hackers and bad actors that are constantly scanning websites around the world to hack them. So keep this all on and press save. Then we scroll all the way up and we go to site check. You can let Solid Security monitor your file changes. This is a very important and powerful feature that's also very nice. What would also be very nice if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Solid Security will check your files if they have been changed since the last time it has been checked. But this is also very important as hackers will change files to gain more access to your website, add in malicious code so people download viruses or trojans via your website. So that's not very nice. To use this in the right way, make sure to exclude the caching folders. This is important. If you have caching plugins, which I highly recommend, then make sure to, for example, this cache folder, press on select and it's been excluded, or else you get every single day a mail that some files has been changed, but it's just your caching folders and they change a lot. Also check out WP content to go with, over here another caching folder, select it, put it over there. Then we go to uploads and usually in here there's also a cache folder. Just select it and press on select. There we go. If you've excluded all your caching folders, then you're good and we can go to the next one. The file types are great, just keep them in over there. Then we have over here site scan scheduling. I'm very happy with this one, so just enable it. And we're going to set this up later on. Press on save, scroll all the way up and we go to utilities. In here you can choose to enforce SSL. Now Solid Security is not going to give you an SSL certificate. So if you have here HTTP and then your website, you need to get this HTTPS, which means SSL, from your hosting company. You need to have that first, then you can enforce SSL over here, and then Solid Security makes sure that everything goes through HTTPS. So make sure to have that with your hosting company and then enable this one. Then you can enable database backups. If you click over here, you can schedule these also so that your entire database will be backed up every 3 days and it will be sent to you via email or saved locally. This is very powerful. If you have an e-commerce website, I really advise you to use this feature so all your data will be saved in locally on a file. An email could be, if you have a very big website, those emails get very big. So you might just want to use save locally only. If you have a small website, you can use email only, like every 3 days should be good. But what I always say, if your hosting company provides daily backups of all your files and your database for at least 30 days, then this entire feature might be a little bit too much, as your hosting company already does this. So just make sure to check it with your hosting company. And if they do it, you can disable this feature. If they don't, then this is very useful. Then we already have enabled Security Check Pro, which is great. Press save. And then we go over here to user groups. Well, we've already talked about the user groups, but in here you can still change them if you want to do that. Then we go to notifications, very important. In here you can set the from email, make sure this is your domain, we've already talked about this. And then we go to the Security Digest. This Security Digest is an email which comes to you every day with all kinds of information of how many bots have been blocked, how many users has been banned. All these things could be very nice. Daily is a little bit too much unless you really like to read it. I don't, so you could go to weekly, or in my case, just disable this thing entirely, because the Security Digest is just not that interesting in my opinion. But if you really like it, then just please enable it. Go ahead, be my guest. But then we go to site lockouts. This could be very interesting to see how many people are being locked out from your website. If you don't have a website with a lot of traffic, keep this enabled, because when someone else tries to log in, or you get an email, hey, someone has been locked out due to bad logins. If you have a lot of people coming through your website and a lot of invalid logins, just disable this, because you will get emails by the hour that people are being blocked from your website. So, just so you know. Then we go to file changes. Of course, you want to enable this one, because whenever a file change, you will get an email of the file change warning from your WordPress website. The first email you get is a very big one, that thousands of files have been changed. That's not the case. It's just the first time the scan will run, and it will say, hey, you had 0 and now you have, well, just ignore that one. But after that, it's very important to check it regularly if your security has been compromised one other way. Then we go to site scan results. Of course, you want to enable this one, because when you do the site scan, then you need to have that email. Then we have two-factor email. Here you can change your login authentication code. This is the default email. I say keep it like this, is great. Then you have the confirmation, is also great. Keep it like this or change it. And as a reminder notice, you can tweak and tune it the way you want to fit your brand. For example, if you have a lot of people on your site. Press save all changes and we go to advanced. In the system tweak settings, we have a couple of important things. So click over it. Protect the system files, disable directory browsing, very important, disable PHP uploads, plugins and themes. If you encounter problems with specific plugins, then you could disable the PHP in plugins, but most of the time everything works really great. You want to keep the PHP execution disabled, because they will try to execute malicious files or compromised plugins using this method. So very powerful to keep this all disabled. Then we go to WordPress tweaks. Disable the file editor. Normally in appearance you have here a file editor, which will be heavily misused if someone can get just a little bit more access on your website. And then you have a problem. He will be able to change everything on your site. If you want to edit your own files using this editor, just uncheck this box and after a while just check it again to disable it. Then we have over here the API access, XML RPC. It's become more of a curse than a blessing these days, because they will use it to automate attacks on your website. If you don't use services that use XML RPC, like the Jetpack plugin, I really don't like it, so don't use it. It will slow your system down extremely. WordPress mobile apps, all these things make use of the XML RPC. What I suggest you do is just put it on disable XML RPC. It will save you a lot of attempts of hacking, and see if everything works. If everything still works, then you're great, you're fine, keep it disabled. But if you notice that some things don't work anymore, try to see if they can work around it, contact the developers, or else just enable it. But I strongly advise you to disable this at all. Also, don't check this box, because by default it will allow hundreds of username and password guesses per request. Yes, you don't want to use this. Then you have the REST API, use a restricted access. Again, test this out. If everything works great with your website, restricted please. Then scroll down, we have users. You can log in with email address and username, or you can only use, for example, the email address. This could be useful if you have a lot of users on your website. Then usernames are easily harvested from your site. Email addresses a little bit harder. If you don't have a lot of users on your website and you're the only one logging in, just choose the way you are logging in with your username or your email address. Should be both good, because you are already protected against brute forcing. This one is very important. Use a unique nickname and disable extra users archive. Enable both of them, because it makes it a little bit harder to log in your website with usernames that they don't know. And then the last feature in here is the hide backend. I really like it. It is just some measure to keep a little bit of noob hackers away from your website. This will of course not prevent a lot of hacking being done on your website, but it's just a fun feature. Now, Your login slug is normally WP admin. In here you can change something like keys of my castle, for example. Then if you want to log into your WordPress website, you actually need to go to this URL, keys of my castle, and then you are at WP admin. If you then try to use WP admin, you will see a error 404 page not found message. So that's really powerful. Make sure to change this the way you want it, and you can remember, because if you forget this one, you won't be able to log into your WordPress website, and that is not very useful. You can also change the URL of the register sign up page. I don't know, something like that. Just change it to whatever you want. And after that, you can enable a redirection, and you will redirect them to any page you want. For example, hacker. And then you can create this page later on, and when someone tries to go to WP admin, it will be sent to this hacker page, and you say something like
you didn't say the magic word.
So just a signal so they know that you took your security very serious. Now you can also use a custom login action, but if you're not a developer, just keep it empty. Alright, after that we press on save. Now remember that you cannot log in anymore, only with this login slug. Then we scroll up and we can see we have set up everything inside of Solid Security. Well done. Now let me walk you through all these settings in here so you actually know how to work with it. First we go to the dashboard. On the dashboard you will see the most important things. For example, the bans overview, threads that have been blocked, lockouts, active lockouts, and banned IP addresses. This is a live website which has a lot of lockouts going on in the last days. You have different banned IP addresses over here. You can see them, and you can also click on it, and then you can remove the ban. So if you are locked out or some of your colleagues have been locked out, just go to your dashboard, go into here and press remove ban. That's the way to do it in there. And over here you can see the amount of threads being blocked and the bans overview in here. So this dashboard is pretty interesting. You can also customize it the entire way you want. Just press on this button, edit dashboard cards, and you can just change anything you want, delete them, add those two, or whatever you want. You can also drag them around and place them somewhere else to, to make it your own security dashboard. Then we go over here to site scans. On these site scans, we can scan our website for all kind of vulnerabilities. This is a very powerful feature and I'm glad they put it in. Let me show you how that works. If you press on Start Site Scan, it will start scanning all your plugins, all your themes, all your files, all your uploads, everything inside of your WordPress installation to see if there is any security issue found on your WordPress website. Then the results are in, and if everything is good, you will only see this. You, my friend, has to set up two-factor authentication. I will be doing that in just a second. The beauty of this system is that all the users are also being scanned for their passwords. Are they safe? Are they compromised? Do they have two-factor authentication enabled? Is your Google Safe browsing okay? Is your WordPress core, your themes, your plugins? This is a very powerful site scan and I'm so happy with this one. Then we go over here to the firewall. In here we can see what's going on with the firewall, how many threads are being blocked, and this is more interesting to see with a live site. On a live website you can see over here what's been going on, too many login attempts, locked out too many times, all these bans and lockouts that been protected by Solid Security, also the top blocked IP addresses. Then we can go over here to rules. You can add some specific rules to your website. Normal users don't need it, but if you're a developer or you're in security, this is very interesting because you can add all these kind of fields, different kind of operators, and then different kind of values. You can type it in yourself and then use different kind of actions. Really powerful feature. Then we can go over here to IP management. In here you can see all the bans that has been added in lately, and you can just click on it and view their activity or remove the ban just like your dashboard. You can also go to active lockouts. You can see how many are currently locked out of your website. Nobody yet, so this is great. And then we have over here the authorized IP addresses. which we have already configured. If you then go to configure, then you can see all the settings we've already set up using the settings tab over here. It is exactly the same. Then we go to automated. And in here, you can always on automated firewall protection if you get Solid Security Pro, which is a really big upgrade from Solid Security Free or the basic version like we are having right now, because the Pro versions integrate patch tag really good, immediately secured, and you can also use these keys to log into your WordPress website. Might be very interesting for your website, so please check it out. I've also created a big tutorial about it so you can learn how to set it all up. Then we go over here to vulnerabilities. Now this is very interesting because when a vulnerability has been noticed and has been reported by Solid Security or by other places on the internet, then PatchTag is the one that will immediately be patching those vulnerable software, even before your developers of the plugin has updated their software so you can download the update. So yes, I really understand the service that they're offering in the Pro version. Then we go over here to user security, and you can see all the users of your website, and you can see if when they have last logged in. Is their password strength really good? How is the password age? Do they have two-factor authentication? So that's really useful if you have a lot of users on your website. Then we have the settings. We've already gone through all of them, so they're good. And then we go to tools because we need to do a few more things. Here we can identify the server IP, so it's important to prevent errors, lockouts, and trusted devices errors. Press on run, and it should identify your IP address of the server. Important, that's it, just keep it like this. Then we have the user ID. If your user ID is 1, you need to change it because it's possible to do a couple of attacks. So just press run. There we are, great. Then we have over here the change database table prefix. This is a very interesting one. Don't press on run just yet. There's the prefix WP underscore. It will be removed for something random. It will make it harder for automated attacks to really hack your website. But before you press on run, you really need to make sure that you have a backup in place or your hosting company has a backup of your database, because when this goes wrong, you don't have a website anymore. Then we scroll down and we go to set encryption key. Normally you don't have to set an encryption key again to reset it, only if you have been hacked previously. So we don't have to do this right now. Then we can over here create the MU plugin loader. Make sure to do this, press on run. When it gives you an error code, refresh this page and press on run again. If not, just keep it like this. Then we scroll down and we can check our file permissions. Just press on run and it will go with the most important files and paths on your website, like WP includes an admin. It should be 755. All these things are great, but then we can see WP config and htaccess is 644, and that results in a warning. But that's okay, because when my caching plugin is writing information, it has to have access to these two files. If you see more yellow dots over here or even red ones, make sure to watch my tutorial over here and I will learn you exactly how to change those permission values within a FTP program, which is completely free, of course. I'll walk you through the process step by step, so don't worry over there. Then we scroll down and we can see the server config rules. You don't have to press on run because it's already inside of these files, so that's just great, just keep it in there. Then you can change the WordPress salts. You should not do this, only if you have been hacked previously. And then the Security Check Pro should all be good. You can press run to test your connection, but it should be good right now. And then last but not least, we have logs. In the logs, you will see everything that happened on your website. If people are being locked out or banned, you can see them over here. Alright, now it's time to add in two-factor authentication for you. How to do that? It's very easy. Go to users, go to your profile. Then we scroll all the way down. And you can do this for any user, not just yourself. And you can see two-factor authentication. Just press on enable. And then we need to set up two-factor authentication. This is the screen you will also see when you log out and you log in again on your website. Press on continue. Now here we can use a mobile app, an email or backup codes. 1 is not enough, you have to use 2, because when your mobile phone gets lost, then you don't have any way to get into your website again. Unless you follow the steps, in just a minute I'll show you how to unblock yourself or remove the entire plugin because you have been locked out. Now, we're going to use a mobile app, so press on this arrow over here. Select the device you're using, iOS or Android. Then we open up our mobile phone, we go over here and we're going to select an authenticator app. In this case, I'm going to use the Google Authenticator because that's the one I use for all different kind of websites. Then over here on the bottom you have this plus icon. Click on it and then you press on scan QR code over there. And then we're just going to point our device to our screen. Immediately it is in there and you can see over there like and subscribe, username Matt, and then a code. All right, this is all we need. We press on continue and then we're going to fill in this code on our website. Just wait a second, here we are. And we press verify. Make sure to do this within the 30-second window. Well done, our mobile app has just been enabled. Then we also need another one. You can download backup codes if you don't want to use email. I can understand that. Or just enable email. And then you can receive an email when you log in. Then we press on continue and that's basically it. Now the setup has been completed for our two-factor authentication. Is it that easy? Yes, it was that easy. If I now log out from my website and I log in again, you can see immediately I have to put in an authentication code, or I can use a backup method called email. Again, we just go to our mobile app over there and we look up our website. It's down there. We fill in the authentication code and we press on authenticate. Here we are. Now we are inside of our WordPress website. This makes it really hard for hackers to log in, even if they have your username and your password, which is almost impossible to get from your website. Now I'm going to show you what you can do if you've locked yourself out and you cannot log in again. It's very easy to fix this, but you need to go to your hosting company. Now, this site is hosted on SiteGround, which is a really good hosting company if you have a big budget. But if you have a different hosting company, it basically all works the same. Just go to a place called File Manager or Files, click on it, and then we are over here. Make sure to go to your public HTML, which is where your website is. Or maybe you're already inside of here. That's also great. You see WP admin content includes. Now to unblock yourself, we need to go to WP content. Here are all the plugins. Go to plugins. Then you see better WP security. Click on it and then click on rename. So we rename this folder. We're going to change the name to broken like this and press confirm. Here we go. This time you go to your WordPress website, wpressdark.com, and don't log in with your new URL, but just with WP admin over here and go in there. Hey, now we are back at the login screen, and then you can log in again without two-factor authentication. And then we are inside of it. Go to plugins, install plugins, and you will see the plugin has been deactivated because the file does not exist. Keep this window open and go back to your hosting company. And while you're logged into WordPress, we click over here. We're going to rename it back to normal and press confirm. Then on your WordPress website, just press on the refresh button. Over there, it's just in here, or press F5 on your keyboard, and we can press activate. Now we are logged in, security has been enabled, and we can go over here to security, go to our dashboard, and you might see over here the bands overview or the lockout. You can see your IP address or someone else, and you can delete it from there and you're back in business. That's the way how to regain access to your website. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and maybe you want to check out this video where I show you step by step how to create an amazing e-commerce website.